So 2 of this purple, there you go. And then that'll be like the back, this will be the front, 2 of this black. And then this is like the pocket for the filters. So then I'm going to sew along these edges here first, and then I'll open them up and show you in a bit. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is I took, you had 2 pieces of this cut for front and back. This is the pocket, and then these, there's front, there's back, 2 pieces of each part of the pattern. And I just sewed along this edge right here only. So only on that edge, all 3 pieces, and then I'll show you how I'm going to pin them together. Actually, before I pin all of the layers together, I want to make the little edges on the pocket piece. So the pocket piece you want to take, let's see, this is the outside, and you'll want to take just those little edges and fold them over and sew them so that you have a nice clean edge for the pocket. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll... Okay, so I took, this is the good side, the outside, and I took these little edges, pinned them under, and I'm going to sew them down. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, so I have all my pieces right here, they're right side out. I am going to basically pin these together the way that they will sit. And we're going to have to turn it inside out. So usually what's easiest for me with 3 layers, because it's not so easy to figure out which one goes where to get them to lay right. So I usually just put them together like, okay, that's going to be the outside that you'll see when you're walking around. This is going to be the inside, so I'm going to place it there. And then this is going to go inside that, just like that, and be a pocket so you can slide those things in. So then once those are all in that way, pretend like you're turning it inside out, because you're going to leave a hole at the bottom so you can turn it inside out. And so you'll basically, this is the easiest way, but not so easy when you're holding your phone. So that is the way that you're going to put them together. Okay, once you have them all together, you're going to pin them in place. And I'm starting at the very top of the nose part, like that. Okay, then I'm just going to go down the side and just pin them all in place. Oh, this is hard to see. I'm going to pin them like that. Okay, so when you're done, you have the mask, the inside, the outside, and then the pocket is actually under in between the layers. So when you flip it, it'll work. I pinned it all the way around, but when you sew it, you're going to leave a gap right here for where you're going to put your elastic or your ties, and then a gap down here because the tie is going to go all the way through, the tie or the elastic is going to go all the way through here, and then again on this side, so you leave a gap right here. But you do want to sew all the way down, all the way up here, and then leave another gap at the bottom of the mask here, about a 2 or 3 inch gap right here, so that you can turn it right side out. Okay, so I sewed all the way around. I left a gap down here of about 2 inches. I left a gap here, a gap here, here, and here. And these gaps are like 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch gaps right here. There's a space right about there. Okay, so at this point you want to turn it right side out, and then I'll show you the next part. Okay, so now you've got the basic shape of the mask. There's the outside, this is the nose up here, and then there's the inside, and then here, see here's the pockets. And so the next thing that I will do is right here up at the nose, I'm going to sew a little channel for a little a pipe cleaner to go in, about a 3 inch piece of pipe cleaner, actually about a 6 inch piece of pipe cleaner folded in half so it's 3 inches long. I'm going to put it right up here in the nose portion. So I'm just going to sew a single line going like this, and I'm not going to block off the ends because you want to wash it and you want to take the pipe cleaner out. So I'm just going to sew just like that, so there's a little channel in there for it. Okay, so there's just a little channel there, but it's not sewn it's not closed off, so you can slide that out of there. And also, I just put the pipe cleaner up through here where the filters go, and then did it from there so that you can take it out. I almost put it inside the whole thing, but when you sew that up, you won't ever be able to get it out. So next thing I will do is probably sew this down and just sew like a line across the bottom so it sits flat and looks pretty. All right, so I only stitched starting at the beginning of the pocket and stitched just a line over here, mostly to close this off, but it also helps the mask lay flat. I don't want to stitch all the way to the edge on the bottom because we've got this hole here for our mask straps. So that's why I started at the edge of the pocket. I don't know if you can see that. Edge of pocket right here. And I started right there. Okay, so for the elastic, I'm using this really thin elastic that I already had. I basically, how I measured it was I took about half the width of this that it's going through because it's going to gather a little bit. So I did half of that. Then I kind of guessed like how much I would need to put around the ear, and then a little bit more to tie the two ends in a knot so it makes a loop. All right, for this to get it through the little ends over here, I just attached a safety pin. I'm going to slide it up through there. All right, so I slid this up through here, I tied it in a knot, and then I pulled the knot through so it's sitting inside of this so it doesn't hurt your ear when it's on your ear. Hopefully that's the right size. If it's not, you can always make it tighter, or you can put in a longer piece of elastic, or you can put in like a string and tie it behind your head instead.